Gertrude Kabaseke, a resident of Chabazala village in Mukono District, suffers from continuous menstrual bleeding. 1 month, 4 years ago, the mother of 8 started her period, expecting it to last 4 days as it usually happened. However, a week passed, months went by, and the flow did not stop. After 6 months of continuous bleeding, the 46-year-old woman realized that something was wrong. She sought medical help and was prescribed medication which stopped the bleeding for about a month. On several occasions, she has been admitted to health facilities for blood transfusions after losing large amounts of blood.
One day, I lost a lot of blood and was rushed to the hospital. There I was given 4 units of blood, which stabilized me for a while, and the bleeding even stopped temporarily.
This condition has robbed her of her happiness. Whenever she takes medicine, the bleeding stops for only a month before it resumes the flow. She bleeds heavily, passing out large clots.
The doctors performed a scan and told me that I was pregnant, but I told them, given the amount of blood I had been losing, I couldn't possibly be pregnant. I had been experiencing continuous menstrual bleeding, so if I were pregnant, how could there be a baby?
Once an active farmer, Kabaseke can no longer work. Walking uphill or spending time under the sun leaves her dizzy with a racing heartbeat. She has also withdrawn from social events due to the fear of staining her clothes and the embarrassment that comes with it. Some people have suggested she turns to traditional medicine, while others attribute her suffering to witchcraft. Her husband, who had been by her side for over 20 years, abandoned her and married another woman, worsening her financial and emotional struggles.
And when I asked him if he was leaving me to die, he told me he had done his best for years and was tired. He said it was time for my family to take care of me. He told me to go to them, but I couldn't leave my children behind.
Many times, she does not have the money to buy medication and sanitary towels. Due to her needs, some of her children have dropped out of school.
Buying pads for all these years is simply too expensive, so I cut up old clothes and use them instead. I don't know if there are doctors who can treat me and heal me from what I'm going through. I am tired. If there's a specialist who can help me, please, I am begging for help.
Dr. Baju Matovu, an obstetrician and gynecologist, explains that menstrual bleeding that goes beyond 7 days is considered abnormal.
Because when you bleed for a whole year, you can become anemic. They can bring you to the hospital when you have collapsed, when you are in shock. So wherever you have prolonged bleeding, you must report it to the health worker, you must report it to us gynecologist to evaluate you.
Dr. Matov explains that abnormal vaginal bleeding is caused by factors such as hormonal imbalance. These may be reproductive hormones or hormones from other glands.
So disorganized hormones, which may be within you or acquired. Some people use drugs, certain hormonal drugs like pills, implants and all that, and some kind of disorganizes their periods. But other people, it just comes automatically.
Another cause of prolonged bleeding is abnormalities, such as abnormal growth like fibroids in the uterus.
The layer inside the uterus where blood comes from, called the endometrium. If this thing is attacked by fibroids, those ones can cause constant bleeding which doesn't stop. Until you go in and remove that swelling, someone will not stop bleeding whatsoever.
Cancer, such as cervical cancer, also cause abnormal bleeding when diagnosed at advanced stages. Dr. Matov warns against self-medicating without identifying the underlying cause of the bleeding.
You may take these pills and they do more harm than good to do when your cause is actually independent of this treatment. And we have a scenario. For example, if you have cancer of the cervix and someone was treated with pills to stop bleeding, when you take pills, COCs, those combined pills, they make your cancer worse.
NOBERT ATUKUNDA, NTV News.